about 10 million visitors a year.
This is where the cement is mixed perfectly. Actually, it's computerized.
We have 34 engineers working the site and 900 laborers are working the site totally. We are working around the clock.
Try to keep an eye on things and make sure that the money that I spend for the project, which Srila Prabhupada used to call my forefathers' hard-earned money. So I want to make sure that that's spent properly.
People walk in there, they'll be very astonished that it's a massive dome, but at the same time the acoustics will be very, very clear.
Science without religion is incomplete. Religion without science is incomplete. The two do go together.
We'll have an actual planetarium here with scientific, exhibits, and there'll also be classrooms there and seminar halls, so that scientists can come here and discuss Vedic cosmology.
This temple will be one of the largest, or we will be the largest Hindu temple in the world.
We're not just aiming, at Hindus or Indians. We are aiming for a worldwide audience. We want to create something here which will capture the attention of the world, which will challenge people, which will open their minds.
Centuries ago, the ancient and authoritative Vedic treatise, Srimad Bhagavatam, prophesied the reappearance of Lord Krishna in the Kali Yuga. True to its prophecy, the Lord appeared in the guise of his own devotee as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Mayapur, a small village near the banks of the river Ganges in West Bengal. Many decades later, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, a respected scholar, judge and government administrator of Jagannath Puri, rediscovered Mayapur and its spiritual significance. The visionary Bhakti Vinod predicted that the day was not far when the citizens of countries across all continents would perform Harinam Sankirtan with their Indian brothers at a massive holy Kirtan temple in Mayapur. A temple of grandeur and dimension that would draw people of all nationalities to Mayapur to experience love of God as taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A unique temple that would boldly present the Vedic model of the universe through a planetarium, providing visitors with an enlightening tour of the cosmos, as described in Srimad Bhagavatam, a temple aptly named the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium. Just as the sun first rises in India and gradually spreads its light to the west, the matchless splendor of spiritual truth appears first in India and gradually spreads to the western countries. The realization of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's vision gathered further momentum, first in India by his exalted son, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and throughout the rest of the world by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Armed only with Srimad Bhagavatam and 40 rupees, the 70-year-old Srila Prabhupada sought the blessings of his Guru at his Samadhi at Mayapur and embarked on his mission to New York in 1965. Within 10 years, he made Krishna's name a household word, transforming millions of lives throughout the world. Today, thousands of Krishna devotees from almost every country dedicate their thoughts and actions towards pleasing the Supreme Lord at more than 400 temples, including 60 farm communities, 50 schools, and 90 restaurants. Some of the programs undertaken by ISKCON include Food for Life, where over billions of people have been provided with nutritious prasadam, orphanages and hospitals, cow care and protection. With Mayapur as the root of the ISKCON tree, Srila Prabhupada was confident that all those associated with ISKCON would unite to water their spiritual root and help build the Vedic temple as its flagship temple. In line with his grand vision, the Vedic planetarium will feature a giant rotating model that will demonstrate the movements of the planetary systems as described in the sacred scriptures, with displays that will explain how these movements correspond to the visible universe of our experience. Pilgrims to the planetarium will commence their journey from the lower planets, moving up through the earthly realm onto the higher planetary systems, crossing the boundary of the material universe, before finally reaching the spiritual abode of Lord Sri Krishna. Located within the western dome of the temple will be the planetarium theatre that will be used for screening a range of Vedic presentations to establish that life in this universe is not as a result of chance or some mechanistic processes, but because it has been created by the original living being, Sri Krishna. The mere sight of the magnificent temple will evoke an appreciation for the Supreme Lord and awaken that devotion for Him that lies dormant within our hearts.
Hare Krishna. Mayapur, the land of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I had visited the Mayapur temple on the banks of the river Ganga some time ago, as I was keen on connecting with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nrsimhadev. Even at that time, I could feel Lord Krishna's sublime presence in every corner of the magnificent temple. It was at this place that I had the first breathtaking darshan of the Lord and Sri Radharani with the Ashtasakis.
The temple of the Vedic planetarium is estimated to cost $60 million to complete, with the choicest building materials being sourced from throughout the world. Construction work has already commenced at the selected site, with the project having been commissioned to Gammon India Limited, a leading construction company of India, who have experience in the construction of large projects such as this. The first step towards this noble cause has been initiated by Ambrish Das, great-grandson of the renowned auto magnate and entrepreneur Henry Ford, Srila Prabhupada's devoted disciple, with an initial generous contribution to fund this project. The balance of funds will be received through donations from devotees and well-wishers who are keen to be part of this historic opportunity.
The temple, with over 20,000 square meters of floor space, will be the largest Vedic temple in the world. The main dome will cover a magnificent kirtan hall, 50,000 square feet in area, free from any columns and having the capacity to hold over 10,000 pilgrims at any time. Its specially designed interior will make it one of the most acoustically perfect structures of its kind. An incomparable 140-foot altar at the heart of the main temple room will house the deities of the Panchatattva, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his four principal associates, Sri Sri Radhamadava and the 8 principal gopis.
A grand temple is planned on the banks of the river Ganga as a home for the most lovingly worshipped deities of Radha Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nrsimhadev. I look forward to the day when we will be sitting together in this magnificent new temple to worship their lordships.
serve Lord Krishna. When we all water the root of a single tree, all our desires for serving Him are fulfilled. We welcome you to be a part of this historic event that is destined to leave one of the greatest legacies in history, bestow boundless blessings on you and your families for many generations, provide spiritual joy to millions throughout the centuries.
In 1965, Srila Prabhupada embarked on a landmark journey, one that would transform the world forever. 2015 is the 50th anniversary of this momentous occasion. To celebrate, the GBC has officially declared 2015 as the year of the TOVP. So to know more, let's hear from our GBC chairman, Prabhu Prabhu, and the chairman of the TOVP, Amrish Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Having just accepted the wonderful service of GDC Chairman, I'd like to start my term by announcing this as the year of the TOVP. The TOVP project is a project that's actually been in existence since the early 70s, since Srila Prabhupada first talked about it. And it's one of those projects that Srila Prabhupada, during his manifest pastimes, didn't really make that much progress on. But fortunately, since 2010, with the wonderful help of Amrish Prabhu and his team, huge progress has been made, and we just want to keep that momentum going. And that's the idea behind this being the year of the TOVP, and a year that the whole of the ISKCON community and society, as well as all their projects that they have running, can sort of group together and make the TOVP a particular focus. This is, after all, as we understand it, the largest Vedic temple in the last 1,000 years. And it brings together the wisdom of the Vedas, particularly the Vedic cosmology, as well as modern technology, and Srila Prabhupada's vision of the universes as they actually are, which also challenges the modern mechanistic view of the world. And that in turn, along with the wonderful 3D model that we'll have here in the main dome, etc., and a dome that rivals even St. Paul's Cathedral in London in terms of size, this will be of infinite interest for millions of people around the world for decades and decades to come. And Mayapur, of course, it is one of the seats of learning, one of the four main seats of learning in India. And of course, during Mahaprabhu's time, there were great challenges. It wasn't football games or cricket games then, but it was challenges on philosophy and theology, and with the wonderful story of Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit defeating Keshava Kashmiri, etc. So we feel with the establishment of this Temple of the Vedic Planetarium and the wonderful exhibitions that it will hold and house, that it will reinvigorate Mayapur as being one of those big centers of learning. So we would humbly request you, both myself and of course the chairman of the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium and its main inspiration, Amrish Prabhu, we both humbly request the whole of ISKCON to unite behind this year of the TOVP 2014. 2015 will be the official year of the TOVP. We're expecting devotees from around the world will participate in helping us raise funds for this temple. We want to get as far along as possible with the construction by 2016, which is the 50th anniversary of the founding of ISKCON by Srila Prabhupada in New York, 1966. And we also want to install the new deity of Srila Prabhupada, which will be going in the new temple, right here in the temple room, and then we'll take him to the existing temple after the installation. But that will be a very exciting celebration to have. So we're very excited about this year, and one of the programs that we're going to be having is to come to the United States with Janani Das Prabhu and Lord Nityananda's shoes from the Panchatattva deities here. And they'll be touring around and going to various temples and working with various leaders in the United States to help raise awareness and funds for the temple. So I'm very happy that we're starting. This year, 2015, is the year of the TOVP. Gaura and I are working very hard to make this a successful year for the temple. And the TOVP is the most exciting project that's going on in ISKCON at the present moment, and maybe in the history of ISKCON. It'll be a temple that will bring people from all around the world to visit Sri Mayapur. That was Srila Prabhupada's idea, to bring them to the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we're very excited, and we want this temple to go on at the speed that it has been since 2010. So we're asking all of you to participate and help make this year a great success. And we thank you for your interest and for supporting the TOVP. And please contact us so that we can work together to make this a great success and give to Srila Prabhupada an appreciation for 50 years of ISKCON. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Reading Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srila Prabhupada's books, we can understand how important Mayapur is. Really what motivated us as a family to contribute or to help the project was when we met with the team and understood that here are successful people, all of them in their own right, very, very successful, who've given up their businesses to work, to raise funds. And Ambarish Prabhu, very wealthy gentleman, Srila Prabhupada's disciples, traveling around the world with hectic schedules, begging people humbly and very sincerely to help with this project. So to see that is very unusual, to see a very wealthy team of devotees, successful, educated, and simply asking everybody to give from their heart. So Mayapur was already in my heart and in my family's heart, so it wasn't very difficult for them to kind of evoke that sort of donations towards the project. And also, this temple will be finished very soon. Time goes, and in a very short time it will be completed. And do we want to feel like we didn't do the best we could to help that project?
As my husband said, Mayapur is home for us. Even though we're not in Mayapur, Mayapur is our home. And Radha Madhava are like our Ishtadevta. And the temple that's being built is not an ordinary temple. It's been predicted in the scriptures, and our acharyas have seen that temple. So it's not an ordinary, I can't even say it's like once in a lifetime chance.
This way, at least our feeling was that, this is a project that we shouldn't hold back. And even my advice to any devotees out there, give even if you don't have. Pledge. Because Krishna will make all the arrangements for you to fulfill your pledges. So if the desire is sincere, and if you feel that you want to be part of this project, then be very enthusiastic and give with all your heart, because there's nothing more important in your lifetime than to do this service.
So there's part 2 to this, but it lasts another 20 minutes. It was only 10 minutes. So,
I think we can go ahead.
yes,
Sure.
I sent an email to Ambarish Prabhu today, and I told him that I'm making my first presentation. This is my first presentation on the Temple of Vedic Planetarium, and I said, I'm not going to be specifically asking people to pledge donations. I said because from what I know, the Copenhagen Temple is still making their mortgage payments. So I said I don't really know how many donations this yatra has to offer. Although I thought it was a really nice point he made, that even if you make the pledge, even if you don't have anything to give, if you make the pledge, Krishna is going to arrange for you to get the Lakshmi to make that donation, which I thought was really neat. Anyway, I said to him, I'm trying to raise awareness at least, even if whether or not I'm able to raise any funds, I'm not sure about that. And he said, he wrote back to me today, I was surprised, and he said, raising awareness is equally as important as directly raising the funds. And he said he was in New Jersey right now. He's making a tour of all America with the actual chapalas, the sandals of Lord Nityananda, with one of the head pujaris of Mayapur, Jananivas Prabhu, and they're going around and giving everyone the opportunity to make some donation. So if you do decide to offer a donation, and when you go there, you can feel proud that I helped to build that. Now, how do I get to the next movie? Does anyone know how to do this? Do you have any technical wizards here? Or any time for the room? I don't know how to get out of here to the next movie. It's on the desktop. So we just saw the GBC one. What's the other one?
Terminal Vedic Planetarium update.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Part 2. I'll leave a copy of the actual video with you here, so when I'm gone you can see the rest of it if you want. It's still locked in my suitcase at the airport. Is that enough volume? If you go, you can ask for a personal tour. Raja Vilas will take you inside. It's quite overwhelming when you go in there, how huge it is. They've had to postpone the deadline a couple of times because it takes a while to raise $60 million, even if Henry Ford gave $25 million himself. I mean, Ambarish, Henry Ford's grandson.
Structure of the TOVP is already visible from miles away. As phase 1 of the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium construction is nearing completion, there are new developments one can see. The massive domes, which are the most striking feature, are reaching towards the sky. The solid brickworks are now defining the edges of the building. The Guru Parampara models, including the beautiful deities of the 6 Goswamis, have manifested in clay and resin. The chandelier model is ready. The chakra and Kalash designs are complete. A new fundraising building is now in place. There's more information on the clock tower and stunning visuals from the art department.
I'm sitting here in Sridham, Mayapur. Yesterday I went on a tour of the new construction for the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium. It is an extremely impressive accomplishment that is being done here. The dome is more than 3/4 of the way completed, and the building is completely amazing. And I'm sure that anybody who comes here will be amazed at the progress that's been made since 2010. That we've been able to do so much in such a small period of time. This temple is built by the hands of all devotees around the world. It's not just a handful of people who are building the building, but also it is an active devotion from all the devotees and followers of ISKCON everywhere.
I have come to Sri Mayapur after 2 years, and I'm astounded to see this temple of the Vedic planetarium take shape so amazingly.
It's
It
Ambarish's
is
wife.
so exciting and thrilling to be a part of this most cherished order of Srila Prabhupada. While taking a tour of the temple, I had goosebumps standing in the main temple. It truly is a portal to the spiritual world.
I'm very satisfied, actually. I hope the rest of the devotees, my beloved GBC member, God Brothers, and disciples of God Brothers are satisfied when we take them on a tour to see the progress we've made. The superstructure is coming to a close now. The dome will be complete in a few months. The concreting will begin. That whole thing has been brought in right on budget of $30 million. So that's amazing in this day and age, but that's all the credit of Sadhguru Prabhu.
We can look at the temple from last year. It's really grown. It's formed a body of its own, and it's looking so transcendental. And you can see that 90% of the superstructure is complete. The only thing that remains is a few elements or a few pieces on the domes. And the domes will also be completed within 6 months. Then the superstructure is complete and we're ready to do the exterior and exterior finishes. This will give it a new life when you see the exterior manifested.
The TOVP dome, which has the greatest height and width compared to other domes worldwide, is nearing completion. Work has now begun on the dome of our Nrsimhadeva's altar and the dome of our exhibit wing.
You can see how this temple has grown to a certain height. This picture here that I work with every day, as the progress goes up, you can see what is remaining here in white. If you look at this chart, it's divided into 3 segments. We've already gone only 2/3 of the way. We've got 1 more third to go up for the completion of the superstructure. So when you look at it physically outside, just meditate on there's 1 more third to go up to be completed.
Dome is a training structure. It's not an easy task to be executed. We have to do a lot of hours in this way. And we finished the 6 days up to now. And other 3 things to be completed, complete entire dome. So it will take by March or April we finish all the dome structuring works. And our operating will get started after that. And our records also almost finished it. Actually, we are all everybody expecting to finish by 3 years' time. But miracle, like it finished by within 1 year.
The contract for the 2 side domes is being signed as we speak. So they'll be started by the Opening Festival. The main dome will probably be up to the 8th level by Opening. Because the dome is getting smaller, the panels are smaller, so it's past getting like. And then there's work to do on the inner skeleton of the pilot, which is like 22 meters tall. And then there's the chakra, 6 meters in diameter.
You can see how big the Kailash and the chakra is. The Kailash itself is around 20 meters in height, and also the chakra is around 5.5 meters diameter. So this is a massive chakra that we placed on there. And all this gold that you see is titanium nitride. This is the element that they're going to be using that actually lasts forever. And this will